Hi, this is Ali Arango of ArangoDigitalProduction.com, and today I want to show you how to add some emotions and controls to a facial rig to either a character's head that you either downloaded or maybe a character of your own. So let's get started. Okay, if you're brand new to Blender, Blender's default select is right clicked. So if you're brand new to Blender, I would recommend that you go to File, User Preferences, select Input, and then select with left. And basically all this will do is make your selections more like other 3D programs or like Windows as far as selecting objects. Okay, to do this tutorial, obviously you're going to need a head. This head you see here is a head that I modeled myself for the purposes of this tutorial. However, if you need a head, what I would recommend is you just simply go to Google, enter in BlendSwap. And what BlendSwap is a great website that gives you Blender files that other Blender users have made up. If you go to the search engine and BlendSwap and just put in head, you'll see a bunch of different heads pop up. I mean, this one right here looks like it probably would be ideal for this type of tutorial. So, and if you guys don't know about BlendSwap, I mean, whether you need a, things like for this tutorial, a head or cars, spaceships, I mean, just a awesome place to go. It's a free place to sign up. If you've never been here, come here and check it out. It's great. Okay, and let me go into solid mode here. Alright, this tutorial, I originally learned this from large parts of this from David Ward. So if you want to go further, look into his tutorials. I believe his YouTube channel is the D-Dub Show is what it's called. Also, Oliver Villar, as far as rigging, you might want to check him out as far as setting up the eyes. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're mainly going to go over just a few basic emotions like smiling and kind of surprised look and frowning. I wanted to show you one of the coolest things that I learned in Blender, which is how to do these facial expressions through these basic a very basic facial rig. And I don't want to make it super complicated, and obviously like anything else, I mean, the more time you put into it, the better the result will come out. Okay, the basic way that this works is the facial bones and the animations or I should say the movements are set up by shape keys. So the first thing you want to do is go into object mode. I'm going to hit 1 on my number keypad. It's been a while since I made the last tutorial. Skipping over my words already, but anyway, what you want to do is go and make sure you're in object mode. Then you're going to come over to your object data mode. You're going to select here. All right. Once you come to here, what you're going to do is you'll see texture space, vertex groups, shape keys. The first thing you want to do is hit a plus right here for shape keys. Now what this does is this makes a basic shape key. Now what that is this right here is always what the shape keys will be based off of. Once you have your bases there, then what you want to do next is hit plus again, and now this is going to be our first actual emotion or mouth movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this FC for facial control, lip, and .L. All right, now since I have the bases here, all right, which is this basic look of this right here. Now that I made this other shape key called FC underscore lip.L, what I want to do now is go into edit mode. Now when I'm in the edit mode, it's reflecting on this shape key right here. So anything that I do right here, basically what's going to happen is this slider will allow me to turn that shape key on. It's kind of easier if I just show you. So let me just go through for this first one. You can kind of look. So what I'm going to do to set up this shape key is you want to make sure you have your proportional edit on, which is this button right here. Then what you're going to do is I'm going to hit C to get my paint select, and I'm going to grab the corners of the mouth right here. Now what I'm going to do is hit G, and when I hit G, you can see this area of influence pop up here. Now that area of influence is controlled by when I roll my mouse wheel. When I hit G, you can see this circle, which is the area of influence. And when I roll it, the area of influence grows or shrinks. So what I'm going to do is just pull this up. And actually, let me come back. So I actually saw I grabbed some vertices I didn't want. So I'm going to do it again. So yeah, I just want to grab these here, maybe these ones right here. And what I'm going to do is just hit G, X, or I can just use the arrows to pull up my area of influence. And I'm just going for the basic, kind of a smile. And when you smile, it goes up and it also goes back. Okay, so there we go. So now that I have that, when I hit the tab key, you'll see, which would take me back to object mode. You see how it snapped right back, and what it snapped right back to was it snapped back to this basic shape key. All right. So now when I click on this FC lip.L, you'll see that when I move this up, there you go. There's the beginning of a smile. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, what I'm referring to when I say very cool is the fact that you need bones. Actually, you don't need bones. The bones and things that we're going to get into a little bit later on make it easier for you to animate facial expressions. But just by setting up this very basic bases and then changing a few vertices, setting your new shape key, you can be off and running to having animations on a 3D model's face. And I was actually amazed when I first realized that it really is very simple, and yet just that little teeny bit we did right there is pretty effective. But anyway, to go on, another cool thing with this and the way the Blender is set up, and when you have credit where credit is due, I learned this from David Ward. See where you see this minimum right here? If you click in here and then you select negative 0.05. Oop, I'm wrong, sorry. Negative 0.5. Basically what happened is now we only set the animation so that it goes up about that far, but now with that negative 0.5, now we have the opposite. We can actually get a little bit more. I mean, that's a little bit too much, but we can get a little bit more out of the animation by putting in those negative frames. So it just takes away a little bit of a work from us. So actually I'm going to put in, let's try negative 0.2. Oops, wait a second. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, and once you have this excuse me, once you have this part done for this part of the mouth, what you can do with this is you want to take this value all the way up, right? Come right to this little triangle right here, select this. Then what you're going to do is select new from shape mix. And basically what this did was this took this shape key and just made another new shape key based on it. All right. All right. So the reason why you would want to do that, have it, because it's basically exactly the same, is what you can do is now you can go back to this original shape key, turn this volume or take this down to back down to 0. Now come to this new one that you created, click back on this arrow, and now what you're going to do is click mirror shape key. All right. So now basically what happened is on the other side, you see that? So we just got a 2-for-1 deal, is what I like to call that. All you did is we did the work, we made the shape key for this side, we added the negative value on it, and then when we sit there and we make a new shape key and mirror it over, now we have this full value and we've got even a little negative, do we have the negative 2 thing going on? No, we don't. So in here, yeah, for that little negative 2 thing, you would just hit a minus, 0.2. And then now you have that, a little bit there. So pretty cool, pretty simple. You want to get back to 0, you can just click in there and hit 0. Okay, and again, just so you understand what's going on, this basis is you don't change this basis. All right. The basis locks the shape key in. It allows for these other things to happen. Once you have the basis, you pretty much leave that alone, and then you add additional shape keys on, and then you go into edit mode, change the vertices, and that allows you to be able to use a slider to animate those shape keys. So we're just going to click on this right here. We'll name this fc underscore lip dot r. I originally was inspired to do this tutorial from a subscriber of mine named Daniel. So I'm thinking of you, Daniel. Hopefully you'll like this. Okay. All right. So we have those mouth keys, and we're just going to add a brow motion in so she can look surprised or angry now. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just go to this plus, click here for a new shape key. So this pops up, right? So now we go to edit mode to enact that shape key. So what we're going to do is hit A to deselect those vertices here. We'll use the paint select, and we're just going to grab all of these. No, I don't want those. If you're using the paint select brush, that's C. If you select with the middle mouse button, it'll take away the vertices you selected. So we'll grab there. We're going to actually click here and go to connected. And what this does is it's the proportional edit tool, but it gives you a little bit more control. It only selects what's connected to the vertices that you're already selecting. So this is ideal in this case right here. So all we're going to do is we're just going to hit G to see our area of influence. And then the first thing we're going to do is we'll pull it up. And as I'm pulling up, I'm rolling my mouse wheel to increase my area of influence. So kind of a surprise look right there. All right, so now what we're going to do that we have that is we're going to hit the tab key to go back into object mode. And you see how once we come into object mode, it always snaps right back to that basis right there. So here, this is the shape key that we're on now. So now when I click this up, check that out, right? So she's got kind of surprised look, and then now, just like we did before, what we can do is go into the minimum, and we'll select here, and we'll click negative 0.5. So now you can see we have a surprised look on her face, and then we kind of have her looking a little bit angry. And actually, we'll take that. Let's try negative 0.6. Yeah. So basically, she goes from surprised to angry, and it's just, I love that. I absolutely love how you kind of put it in one animation, and then by changing this other value, you get the opposite emotion. Okay, so we'll name this shape key brow control, and this is a fairly easy setup. I just wanted to try to convey to you that how fairly easy it is to set up shape keys, and hopefully you'll see how easy it is to set up bones for this. Okay, so now what we're going to do, now that we have this, what we're going to do is we're going to actually set up bones to control these things. So what we're going to do is you're going to right click to put your cursor right on the side of the mouth. Now I'm going to just turn to the side, and Blender, you're constantly turning to the side and to the front just for in 3D, just to get object where you want them to be. And wherever this 3D cursor is where when I make a new object come into Blender, it will come right to that 3D cursor. So now what I'm going to do is hit Shift A to put a single bone for an armature in. Once that pops in, you can see it's going through her face. I'm just going to come over here, and you can see with the little man icon, bone icon on, I'm going to select X-ray, and then now you can see the entire bone. Okay, and once you have this bone in there, what you're going to do is go into hit Tab to go into edit mode, shrink the bone down, and we're going to use this bone to control her that smile shape key that we just made. Then you can hit Shift C, and what this does is I'm going to hit 1 my number pad to come in the front view. What the Shift C did is it made the cursor come directly into the center of my model's head right here. So now what I'm going to do is while I'm in edit mode, all right, and I have this selected here, this armature selected, so I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate it. So if I hit Shift D and then just pull to the side, and I can see I just pulled to the side to let me know that I made a new armature. And then I right click, it snaps right back into place, but it's still made. Now what I'm going to do is come right to here, and then I'm going to select a 3D cursor. This lets this bone, I'm going to use size to basically pivot it over exactly to the other side. All right. The way you're going to do that, the reason why this is going to work is because I have the armature here, I have the cursor here. This is going to make this bone pivot on this cursor here. So now with the second bone selected, it doesn't look like it, but it's in there. I'm going to hit SX minus 1 and then left click, and you can see that other bone came over there. And lock that in your minds, people, if you didn't know that trick. Shift C to put this cursor here, and then this 3D cursor, and then scale X minus 1. Very useful for this and all kinds of other stuff. But anyway, okay, so now we have these two bones set up, and these two bones are going to control the shape keys we just made, right? So now we're also going to hit a Shift A again, and almost perfectly in spot, we have another armature there, and we can turn this back now to median, which is Blender's normal, the default where it starts at, and we're just push this down, make this a little bit smaller. We'll push this down a little bit, and David Ward and Oliver Villar, they get into custom shapes, which is very good for animators and all that. For the purpose of this tutorial, we're just going to use the bones to try to keep it simple, just so you can hopefully get through this fairly quickly and just grasp this and be able to use this on your own. Okay, now that we have these bones in place, what we're going to do is go hit Tab to go back into object mode, and then we're going to select the head, and now you can see your shape keys again, right? So the first thing we'll do is we'll do this this FC lip control right here. So you're going to left click to select it. Let me make sure this is on 0. Well, it is on 0. Make sure they're all 0. Okay, they are. Okay, what you're going to do is see these numbers right here. You're going to right click right here. Now you're going to click Add Driver. All right. Once you click that Add Driver, this little arrow right here, select there and pull. And what this is going to do is split your screen. All right. And I'm going to hit a T to get rid of this menu here, and then N to get rid of this, just to give some more space here. Then I'm going to click right here and go to the graph editor. All right, once this graph editor pops up, what you want to do is select right here, and then you're going to go to drivers. Okay. Once you're in drivers, here is your FC lip value right here. Okay, when you see this value pop up, now what you're going to do is hit the N key to get this menu to pop up. When this menu pops up, what you're going to do is come down to where you see this scripted expression, and you're going to select average value, and you'll see this error pop up. Don't worry about that. Okay, now what you're going to do is come down to local expression. Oops, sorry. You're going to come down to armature. Armature 1, I believe. Which armature? My gosh. Make sure. Okay, this is armature 1. Okay, sorry, people, didn't want to confuse you. I had a iRig I had put in here earlier, but the armature 1 is here. As a matter of fact, let's see. Okay, we have armature 1, and let's actually change that to facial rig. All right, so now we'll go back. Okay. So when you select your object, select a facial rig, all right, which is dealing with these the bones that we just placed up there. And now what you're going to want is, oops, I forgot. I apologize. With these actual bones, you want to select on these bones the individual bone, and you want to name these so that you're not you don't confuse yourself. So we'll name this yeah, we'll call it, oops, lip left. Okay, and we'll just name this bone lip dot right, and we'll name this bone brow control. Okay, now back to what we were doing. Daniel, I made this tutorial for you. You were my 200 subscriber, man. I was very thankful that hopefully I'm not confusing you by going over to here. But anyway, let's see. Objects we'll select on the face. Now we're back to this value here. Okay, so we already have the facial rig selected. So now what we're going to do is select lip underscore left. And now with that selected, another thing you also want to do is we're going to change this to Y location, and then we want to change this world space to local space. And now with that changed, when we come back over here and we select on this bone, if we go into pose mode and we select the bone and we take it up and down, now you can see this bone controlling it. And one thing with this bone is you have to take it up pretty high to get the mouth to curve out. So we'll just hit Control Z to get that back to the original space. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back into object mode, go to the face, and what we're going to do is go to this add modifier here and go to a generator. And then with this, what we're going to do is we're going to take this value here and change this from 1 to 5. And all this basically is doing is now when we come back to this control bone here, or this armature, first armature, and then go into pose mode, now you'll be able to select the individual bone. Now when we move this, we're able to move it with not as much movement, and then I'll just hit Control Z to get that back. So now we're just going to set it up for the other bones, to be controlled for the face. So we're going to select back here. Whoops, we're going to select here on the face. Okay, and with the object data button selected here, you can see your shape keys that you set up. So now we're going to go for the other side. So you're just going to go right over these numbers here. Right click, you're going to click add driver. All right, we already got the screen set up over here. You're going to select that driver right there, that .L, and now you're just going to do the same thing again. You're going to come and you're going to see the object bone. You're going to select facial rig. You're then going to select that bone, which is lip right. You're then going to change this X location to the Y location, and then world space to local space. And we know it's going to be not enough movement for us most likely. So then what we're going to do, as far as grabbing this and moving up, so we're going to go right to the add modifier, to the generator, and then we're going to go right to where it says Y equals to this second slider here. We're going to change this right to 5. Now we come back over to the face, or actually to the other screen. We select the armature first. All right, now when I selected it this time, it took me right into pose mode, which is cool. But if it didn't, you would select armature and then just go to here, select here and go to pose mode. And now you can see, wait a second, something's wrong. Okay, so we have now we select on the face. Over here, lip dot right. Name this bone right. Yeah, lip dot right. Here. Facial rig, lip dot right. Local space. So what is wrong? Interesting. Okay, I just saw this says auto run disabled. Sometimes you'll see a message like this pop up when you're dealing with drivers. Hopefully it's as simple as me just clicking here, so let's see what happens. Okay, so here, pop. Here, everything's still set up. Here. Nope. Okay, I think I know what it is. I believe I forgot to change. Okay, we have scripted expression. This should have been changed to average value. Oh, I saw it jump a little bit. Okay, so we click here. It took me right into pose mode, and there. Okay, there we go. Daniel, I thought the second one I would get it. I messed that one up again. We got one shot left where I can actually get this through without confusing you. So, okay, we have these two set up. Let's go for the third one, see if I can get this one. Okay, so what you're going to do is select on, we have this brow control. Okay, you're going to select on the face. Object mode, make sure you're in object mode. Come over to object data. You're going to go to brow control. Okay, it's zeroed out here. We're going to right click right on these numbers here. Add driver. We come over, make sure you select the brow control. First thing, which I forgot last time, you're going to change this to average value. You see error, don't worry about that. Now what you're going to do is come down, you're going to select the facial rig. You're now going to select the bone. It should be brow control. You're going to change this X location to Y location, world space to local space, and then you're going to do an add modifier generator, and then you're going to go change this 1 down here to 5, and then you're going to come back over to, okay, so now we come over and we just click right here. It took me right into pose mode, and there we go. Excited, annoyed, excited, annoyed, and hopefully you guys learn from this tutorial. Besides my little mess ups here and there, it's pretty easy to actually add facial animations to 3D models in Blender. To be honest, it's actually amazing. If you want to have this model smile, you can grab these two bones here and just pull up at the same time, and we'll sit there, and whether you're going for an animation or whether you're just going, even if you're doing just a still work where you just have like a still image, it's pretty easy to set up. It's actually not that bad, and very cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching. As always, Daniel, I hope that this was somewhere around what you wanted. If you guys like these tutorials and you want to see more, please subscribe, and thank you for viewing.